Hi, kids. How are you? Great to be with you again. Sure it is. Yeah. Oh, Mother of Christ. Daylight savings time. I'm doing this Sunday. I don't know when you're going to listen to it. Who gives a rat's cheese? It's, 5:08 p.m. and it's looks like noon out there. Beautiful. You know what that means? Mets are about a week away from being eliminated. I am motherless wonders. Anyways, so fucking tired. I know you've heard it, but just so fucking tired. I got a good 4 hours last night. Can you imagine? I'm actually excited about a good 4 hours sleep. And it's on these days that I'm setting up shop to do the show and the computers aren't fucking working and all the shit I've been stealing off YouTube, all these clips, all of a sudden those are being barred. Somebody's on to me. But it's always these days, so I just want to get into the show and have fun, and shit's backfiring. I'm going through instructions how to set up my computer again. You sister's ass. Anyways, well, that wasn't very nice. Yeah. So where was I this weekend? Oh, let me get the dates out of the way. I like to do the business up front because it's not that important to me, and I'll forget it later on. I'm the worst self-marketer there is, and I think my career has proven that over and over again. Ba-boom. This, not this weekend, but the 20th and the 21st, I'll be at the Arlington Draft House in Alexandria, Virginia. The 20th and 21st of March, and then the following weekend, the 26th, 27th, and 28th of March, the House of Comedy in Phoenix, Arizona. All the way to Tacoma, Philadelphia, Atlanta, L.A., Northern Arizona, where the girls have no tits, and the... Just kidding. I forget the lyrics. Too fucking tired. House of Comedy, never been there, but it's Phoenix, and I'll be glad to get on a plane and get out of this shit. What am I, in Fairbanks, Alaska? This fucking winter blows donkey dick, does it not? Looking forward to going to Phoenix. I don't give a shit. I have melanomas on my face when I come back. I'll hide them with my wife's makeup. Or I'll put on a little princess mask and go on stage. I don't care, but I've had it. And I'm not a guy who hates winter. I usually don't mind it, but enough's enough. I blame it again on your sister's ass. Yeah. And then in April, Acme Comedy Club, my favorite, 9, 10, and 11. And then Marissa, the Treehouse, Marissa's in Trumbull, Connecticut on the 18th, which I've done a couple times. It's a one-nighter, but it's set up beautifully by Brad Axelrod of Treehouse Comedy Productions. But that's a good one. And it'll be good. Haven't been back to these places in a year or so, and it'll be new material for you people come out. Know what I'm saying? Yeah. Another Senseless Killing, the album, doing well. It was at like 15 on the charts this morning. I checked it. I don't know why. I don't even know how they determine that. Might have nothing to do with sales. Could be down low. Who knows? Well, I could Google it and find out, but that would take some effort. I'd rather lay on the couch with my hands on my balls, eating fiddle faddle, and watching women wrestling. But like I said, that would take effort to find that out. But it's doing good. It goes anywhere between 15 and 65. And what's amazing is you see like Brian Regan has a album on that he did in 1997. That it's in the top 10 still. That was 18 years ago. So again, I have to look up and see how this is based. I'm sure you all know. And you don't have to hit me up on Twitter and explain it. I'll fucking look it up. Don't worry about it. But can you imagine? And you know who? Gaffigan, who's a machine. He's got like 4 albums on there from the last 8 years that are still in the top. What a money-making. This guy. I know drug cartels that look at his income and go, what are you doing, man? How do you make that kind of cheese? I actually read for a Gaffigan. I guess he's got another network deal, a pilot or whatever. I don't even know what the show's about. I'm like a zombie, and I usually say no to this stuff. When I lived in the city, I'd go on these auditions, but now that I have to take a helicopter and 2 fucking trains to go to an audition, I say no to most of the shit. That and acting isn't really that important anymore. It's nice to do it here and there. I cannot wait for the Amy Schumer thing to air because that's the best thing I've ever done acting-wise. Cannot wait for that. I'm actually excited about it. You know how jaded I am. But I went in and I read for some bouncer part for Gaffigans. I didn't even ask my agent, is it a recurring role? Is it just a, one-off? Didn't even bother. Just like a zombie. Got my car. Nowhere to park in the city. Just nowhere to fucking park unless you're crippled and Asian and mongoloid-like, wearing a leisure suit and half Muslim, and then you can park between 2 and 5 on Wednesdays. But other than that, you got to pull into a garage, and which I did for of course, I go to the audition. Usually you sit out there with a bunch of other people, and they're usually running behind by 15, 20 minutes. Of course, I get there 10 minutes early, and they take me right away, which is beautiful. But I already know I didn't get it. I don't know. So I come back out. I was done in about 12 minutes. And it's so expensive to park, and I was embarrassed to go back to the garage. So I actually went and had lunch to kill time, to make it look like I wasn't stupid enough to pay $33 to park for 8 minutes or whatever it was. So I went to the Statler Grill to kill time and had a shrimp cocktail and a Bloody Mary. And that came with tip to $40. So who's the asshole now? Me. You can't win. You get fucked in the ass in the city every time. You can't win, folks. I understand it's New York, but it said 4 jumbo shrimp. I expect them to come in like a champagne glass like they do, in the fancy joints. I figured they'd be about the size of my, I don't know, at least the size of my middle finger, the shrimp, and about 2 inches wide. But no, it looked like 4 shrimp that you put on a hook to catch a fucking fish. Like 4 just normal shrimp. You're like, what are you, shitting me? Is there cocaine in the cocktail sauce? How are you whacking me for fucking $20-something? Anyways, it's nice living in the Northeast, isn't it? Get that same shrimp cocktail in Dallas for fucking $5.95. But because we have museums and all kinds of culture, and you can get stabbed in the ass in front of the Opera House. That's why you pay top dollar. Look on New York Post. I love it. On the cover, it says St. Putz, and it's a picture of our asshole mayor, de Blasio. He was late for the St. Patrick's Day parade. And that's why I love the friggin' Irish. They were letting him have it. He gets like a half hour early there. He fucking chanting, he sucks, and he wouldn't want to get there on time. That would be something a white person would do, and then he'd lose his constituency. And all the people that are whining victims, right? Then they'd abandon him if he got there on time. They'd be like, yo, you acting white, yo. So I guess they were letting him have it. And the Irish, I don't know what time the parade started, probably 9. They're already 3 sheets to the wind. I wish I was there for that one. He's just a dick, like most people that think like him politically are they're fucking lost. He's trying to make it harder now to punish students, disruptive students in class. You guys from Iowa and Idaho can't even relate to this, but there's, there's disruptive forces in inner city schools, and other kids are there to try to learn, and kids come in and try to beat up teachers, and they curse teachers out. Now you can't suspend. They're trying to pass it so you can't suspend a kid just for cursing out a teacher. Can you fuck him? You're retarded. De Blasio and people who think like you're fucking retarded. And this planet won't be safe till the likes of you are fucking gone. You fucking morons, you. Ugh. I can't believe I can't believe what I read in the paper. I just can't friggin' believe it. It's like we're on 2 different planets. Alternative universes. Just unfucking believable. All that shit. All that stuff that made New York safe. They're reversing it. Can't watch mosques now. Can't, go into surveillance, secret surveillance with mosques. Yeah, you wouldn't want to do that now. It's not like, we're on the edge of World War III. Stop and frisk, right? Eliminating that. By the way, shootings are up 20%. And that's with even the cold snap. Well, most criminals don't come out unless it's above 60. Even so, with this horrendous weather, shootings are up 20% already this year. It's already coming undone. You. Oh, my God. What is the matter with this mayor? There was and I remember mentioning this on a previous podcast. Remember there was a memorial for this plane that crashed years ago in New York. I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, right after 9/11. American Airlines plane crashed in Queens. Remember? It was like I think it was all Dominicans on the flight, a Dominican Republic, whatever. So they had a memorial for that, and he missed the moment of silence. He was late for that too. Just a douche. Just a douche. That's all he is. Just a douche. And the fact that he's in the mix, in the mayor of the greatest city in the world, well, what once was, it's just hilarious to me. When's this shit gonna stop? I don't know, but when I get down, I get really down, I have something that picks me up now. You know what I'm talking about. Woo! Oh, my God. People on Twitter were going, you son of a bitch, you planted that seed in my head, I can't get it out. That is the catchiest goddamn thing I've ever heard in my life. I wish I had that guy's influence. Remember I told you, he's got a cult. That's why we talked about him in the first place. And supposedly 400 members of his cult, male members, listened to him and they deballed themselves to be closer to God. I don't know about that. I think I'm with the Muslims on that one. I'd rather the 72 versions than deballing myself. That's just a matter of getting married. Yeah. So this weekend I was in Wyoming, Pennsylvania. I guess that's how they pronounce it. At a place called Building 24. This guy is Todd. Has run this place called the Comedy Outlet in Reading, Pennsylvania, and I guess he was about to have me there last year, and then a place closed or whatever. Says a lot for my power. And anyways, so this place is called Building 24. Not a bad gig. 3 hours, about 166 miles from my house. Got on the road like 1 in the afternoon, which I love. I come up with a lot of my shit while I'm driving, because I really don't pay attention to the road. I mean, who wants to do that? But, over the bridge, 287 South, over the Tappan Zee to 287 South to whatever. You stay on that forever, then you hit the Pennsylvania Turnpike, get on that. It takes you way to hell out in the middle of wherever the fuck I was. I put my Waze app on. Are you guys familiar? I'm sure you're familiar with Waze. Bobby Kelly turned me onto that a couple of years ago, but I love it. I just don't I don't trust my GPS in my car, so I put the Waze thing on my phone, and this broad told me how to get out there. Can you tell I'm tired? I'm slurring. And fucking thing works great, man. It tells you it actually says pothole in the road coming up. I actually heard this for the first time. It goes animal on shoulder of road. And but I never saw an animal. I saw a big fat guy pissing, unless they were referring to him, maybe. But I was looking for a deer or, a dinosaur. Or a prehistoric bird, maybe taking a shit in the breakdown lane, but no. No animals. Kind of just lying to you, I think, to keep you awake. I don't know what that one is about. But it tells you when there's broken down cars and I'm heading out in the middle of nowhere, but you get near Kutztown or whatever, some small town, all of a sudden 3 lanes. I did the first 100 and, I'd say 135 miles, in about 2.5 hours, not even. And then all of a sudden, like anything else, around 4:30, all of a sudden 3 lanes became 1 through this small town. And I just saw red lights in front of me, tail lights, for about a mile. Because it's like 1 lane going one way. It was very weird. And that's why I love this Waze app. The lady just says, take a left. You're in traffic. Take your next left onto Mausoleum Springs Road or whatever the fuck. And it took me through some even tinier town. People like on their porch churning butter and shit. It was crazy. And, but it got me, it made me go around that mess without adding any mileage or any time. So I trust this woman more than I do my wife, whoever the recording is. And, yeah, tells you where the cops are. Cops hate this app. I guess they hate it. So, yeah, building 24. I get there. This is how it works, folks. They have a hotel room for me, but I have no intention on staying. I'm getting up. I mean, I'm leaving right after the show. If it's under 4 hours, or maybe even 5, that's about my limit. I'd say 5. If it's under 5, I'm driving. No, I'd say 4. If it's 4 under, I'm driving back. I want to wake up in my own bed. Again, that's a sign of being 53 and married. When I was a younger comic, it could be an hour from my house. I'd stay at the hotel, hoping a drunken pig would wander into the hallway, and I'd tackle her and pull off her giant bloomers and have my way with her. But those days of those are gone. They're gone. And nothing we can do about it. They're gone. So, as soon as the gig's over, I jump in the frickin' car. The people haven't even paid their checks yet. I'm on the highway with both feet on the gas. But, yes, and I work with a kid named Mike Aronin, who I worked with him years ago at the Improv on a New Year's Eve. He has cerebral palsy, and I don't mean just a touch of it. He's got full-blown palsy, and he's the toughest little... This guy, he's been doing comedy forever. He's got great material, but it really is weird. He's funny as hell. He really is. And he's get and he really has, I mean, it's hard for people get uncomfortable, but once he starts telling his jokes, you have to really listen. But he writes great jokes, and of course the guy that was running it, Todd, he runs it. He went up there and introduced him and then introduced me, but. It's funny because he's like, okay, now get off the stage. Take your time, why don't you? And he's saying like mean shit, but because he knows the kid. He hires him all the time. But the crowd's like going, ugh, this guy's being a dick to this guy. And then I have to go up and I have to throw shots at him too because I know Mike. And like I said, we've worked together. And, I believe you guys always singing about inclusiveness. I include everybody in my beatings, even if he gets cerebral palsy. And I said, I'll be so fucked up by the end of this show, Mike will be giving me a ride back to the hotel. And, but he killed, But it's kind of hard for me to go on after a guy like that, because then I go up with my pompous attitude, and it seems to come across even more mean when you have somebody on with a physical affliction. It magnifies the assholelessness. But I let it fly anyways. And the people, they bought it. But the guy goes to me, he goes, the first 5 minutes they didn't know what to, you did all right, but then it took them about 5 or 10 minutes. I go, yeah, because I followed a guy with cerebral palsy. I go up there, I get fucking, I'm doing P90X for Christ's sake. I'm doing Insanity 25. I go, it just, you come across as more, my comedy, folks, it's attack mode. It's biting. It's cutting. So it's magnified after somebody with a physical affliction and who's and the guy's it doesn't look like he's going to slow down, man. Mike Aronin, his name is. You might even know who I'm talking about. But he opened for me, in Baltimore on New Year's Eve at the Improv like 10 years ago, or maybe 8 years ago. And I went on after him. I said, "Somebody hit the champagne a little early, huh?" All kinds of mean shit like that. And he was in the corner crying, giving me the finger. No, he was laughing his balls off. And I'm sure I'll work with the guy again. But, it was out in the middle of nowhere. It was a big, not a warehouse, those bars. And the ceilings were very high, like I told you, which is what you don't want for comedy. But the guy did a nice job. Nice sound system. Did a nice job of setting it up. And I told him I'd do it again. I don't know if I meant that. I had 3 shots at me. I always do that for the ride home. It makes you go by faster when you're a little fucked up. Just hope you don't get pulled over. And, so I was, I took a few pictures. There was one guy, like, after the show, going to buy a drink. I mean, he looked like a real wireman. He had a beard. And I go, no, I'm all set. I just, had a shot, and I got, like, a 3-hour drive. Come on, let me buy you. These people that actually get angry at you? He's fucking furrowed his brow, and I go, I'm all set. And I took a few more pictures with some other people, and then he comes back over. Come on, let me get you a drink. And I go, no. And he goes, what the fuck? I thought he was going to, punch me in the face. What is that? Boy, is that not the sign of an alcoholic when they want somebody to share in their misery? Holy Christ. But, yeah. Bing, bang, out of there. Home by midnight. So, those are the gigs, I tell you. Those are the gigs as far as a comic. They pay good, and if they pay good, you take them and you get to work a new material. You don't care how you do. What if I've been doing it long enough. I'm going to do an hour. I can tank it for 8 minutes in the middle of it and then come back at the end if I have to. But that's how you try out new stuff. I was going to get into more stuff about stand-up inside shop talk you guys aren't familiar with, because I know people like that when you do that, because it is an interesting process. It still amazes me how I can be, doing a bit that I've been doing for a month and it's murdering, and then 2 shows in a row, it'll lay there, and you're like, what the fuck, was it me? That's what makes the job interesting, That, and like I said, drinking before you drive home 3 hours. And I get home, like I said, by midnight, and what do I see? Terrell Suggs running naked down my driveway with my wife in the doorway waving to him. And so she caught a beating. Oh, come on. I wouldn't do that. Why would I do that? Sounds like me in the hotel. I was like, where's my phone charger? Where's my phone charger? Where's my phone charger? Where the fuck's my phone charger? My phone charger! Yeah. That's a pleasant tune, isn't it? What's going on, folks? What else? Enough of the horseshit. Reading the paper today. The headlines, man. Again, the political correctness is reaching the point where I just want to fucking take my own life. It's coming soon. There's a new study that says for each hour a day that an adult spends sitting down during their lifetime, the likelihood of developing heart disease goes up by 14%. Get the fuck out of here with that. They're equating, because I remember reading this a couple months ago, they said sitting is the new smoking. Yeah, well, on the weekends, I must do about 3 or 4 cartons, because I don't friggin' move. Okay? Yeah, so sitting... People who, and it also says that daily session at the gym won't undo the damage because any increase in fitness from an hour's exercise is overridden by several hours of sitting. So what am I supposed to do? Friggin' stand up all day and fucking do what? Jog in place? It's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. It was a medical college of Wisconsin. They tracked the activity of 2,031 adults, average age 50. Jesus Christ, I'm even over that. The participants all spent 2 to 12 hours a day sitting at the office and in front of the television. Researchers concluded every hour spent sitting, the levels of deposits in your blood vessels, I don't know what, they don't even mention what the deposit is, rises by 14%. Regular running gym sessions and aerobic classes showed no evidence of significantly mitigating the risk. See, fat people are probably plotting that. But this is the one that kills me. And this lead researcher, Dr. Jacqueline Kolkinski, this is the problem. And I've said it before on podcasts. These chicks, they go to junior colleges and they think they think they're actual doctors. An assistant professor of cardiovascular medicine. She's an assistant professor. She's almost a janitor? She said that adults with office jobs should go for a walk every hour. Boy, that's spoken like somebody who has spent time in the workforce. Can you tell she's been on campus her whole life? Yeah, I'm sure your boss will understand that. Hey, boss, I know you got that meeting, but, I'm getting fatty deposits in my blood vessels. I'm going for a 1 to 2 hour walk. I'll be back around 4. You don't have a problem with that. Adults are supposed to go for a walk every hour. What the fuck? Reducing the amount of time you sit by even an hour or 2 a day could have a significant and positive impact on your future's cardiovascular health. Yeah, we know this by now. We know, but I mean, really? You're gonna make me feel guilty sitting now? How about when I'm sitting down with a banana cream pie on my chest watching a 3-hour ball game? And if this was true, sitting is going to, eventually kill you, tell it to this guy.
The question of whether God is bound by the laws of science is a bit like the question, can God make a stone that is so heavy that he cannot lift it?
It's my second Hawking reference in the show. He should be dead by now.
I don't
Any of
think
this
it is
true.
very useful to speculate on what God might or might not be able to do. Rather, we should examine what he actually does with the universe we live in.
Okay, you want me to believe a guy who's got, what was the original diagnosis? ALS to the 100th power? Okay? You want me to believe that, he's got that, and supposedly sitting is now fatal, yet he's still alive. He was supposed to, they gave him 6 months about, 65 years ago? This guy's turning out books with his tongue every 3 weeks. He's a billionaire. More productive than I'll ever be. And he's been sitting on his ass forever. Yes, we know. Get up and move around once in a while. We don't need a goddamn associate professor to tell us that. Equating it with death. Give me a break. Right in the article it goes, when you come home, don't sit in front of the TV if you have an office job. Okay, but even when you sit down all day, because I've had an office job, again, that lasted about 11 months, when you come home, you do want to relax. I guess you could put a treadmill in your house in front of the TV, I guess. I mean, but Jesus, people don't have that kind of money. And if you have a sedentary job, don't go home at night and sit in front of a TV for hours on end. I'm kind of in a weird position because I'm a comic. I stand up for about an hour. I work out still, which is crazy. My knees are creaking like an old rocking chair. But I was doing T-Shawn again. And there's another one. Oh, this is one of these broads. This Beachbody.com. They put out this stuff. This girl, Amber, who... not Amber, Autumn, her name is. Negative body fat. I've never seen anything like it. That's all these people must do. But it's funny. And then I'll work out for the hour, and then I sit at a computer or I read or whatever before I go get in my car and sit on my ass into the city, and then I'll sit at the table with the other comics, and then I'll go on stage if I'm in the city for 20 minutes, and then get my car, drive home. So... And you're going to tell me the insanity shit's not helping me because I'm sitting more than I'm jumping around? Anyways, enough of that friggin'... Here's where I quit on all this information. When I read... this wasn't even 6 months ago. You know how omega-3 fats are great for you, like in salmon and stuff like that, and olive oil and all those... And nuts and all those oils are really good for... I read an article like 6 months ago. Then they're going, omega-3 oils may not be good for men. That's when I go, fuck you, all bets are off. That night I ate half a margarita pizza at 238, right around the corner. Just to stick it up there. Okay, enough of the health stuff. What the hell else? What's else on the agenda here that I wanted to talk about? Oh, Eric Holder weighs dismantling the Ferguson Police Department. Gee, who didn't see that coming? This is all about revenge. Nobody... You talk about... It's just so ironic. He is the biggest racist in the country. I have more respect for Al Sharpton than I do Eric Holder, because Sharpton is who he is. You can see right through him. This guy tries to hide with his suit, and... he just hates white people. He hates everything about this country. He sees race and white racism and everything. I love how, again, and I've said this before, and I'll keep saying it until it changes, every time we talk about racism, it's assumed it's white racism. Nobody even tries to go, you mean there's all kinds of racism, right? No. It's always with a story like this. Yeah, I'm sure there was racists on the on the force of Ferguson. But see, he's irate that the whole Michael Brown thing didn't go down his way. And he fucked all that up by flying in there before the grand jury actually came up with a decision. Remember, that's how he tainted the whole thing. He's the one that helped create that environment. This kid had his hands up and the cop shot him in cold blood, and he added to that environment. And that's why they fucking burned the place to the ground after. But even in his latest report, he clears Darren Wilson, the cop. So now he has to get revenge. And yes, there's racist emails amongst a predominantly white police force in a predominantly black town. Of course. You'd think if the shoe was on the other foot and it was predominantly black police force in a white hillbilly town where the illegitimacy rate was about 90% and where they were all fucked up on meth, you think there might be any cracker jokes going around? It's just unbelievable. This notion that you're going to wipe that out completely is just fucking hilarious. And a couple of the cops resigned, a couple sergeants and a police captain, but they've been there for over 25 years. You don't think they're happy to be out of that fucking mess? This is all about revenge on Holder's part. That whole Michael Brown thing didn't go down. The whole hands up, don't shoot was a bunch of horse shit, just like we told you dumb protesters. Fucking grabbing onto anything. And, of course, there's some racism in this police force. So go ahead and dismantle if it makes you feel better about... This guy's out the door in a week, isn't he? When's he leaving, Holder? They've already named that woman Lynch to replace him. I mean, this guy is just a cheese dick. Unbelievable. In a scathing report released on Wednesday, the Justice Department's Civil Rights Division described the Ferguson Police and Municipal Court as a system whose primary function was to make poor black people pay as many fines and fees as possible for petty offenses, real or invented. Yeah, it's almost like the white middle class being taxed the shit out of, isn't it? I pay outrageous taxes because of all these entitlements that poor people are on and all the free shit they get. Sucks to be taxed, doesn't it, poor people? It called the system and some of its people racially discriminatory and the police brutal. Well, those guys that resign, like you trust me, they can't wait to get out of there, I'm sure. Well, we have a long way to go because it's the 50th anniversary of Selma or whatever. I'm so tired. I have racial fatigue. I can't even. I hear that stuff, and I know, and yes, I admire those people who marched and all that, but at this point, really, that's right. We haven't talked about how oppressive this country is to black people in almost 10 minutes. I have race fatigue, as they call it. But, and they're going, well, it's not just isolated to Ferguson. Of course not. Wherever there's poor black people, you have tensions like this. You notice that? That's the common denominator. And yes, police forces, it's not the police forces that need retraining. It's the dissolution of the black family. I'm getting tired of saying this, and it's no secret. I'm not the first to say it, but it's true. The breakdown of the black family causes poverty, that causes babies to be born out of wedlock. They're raised without a father in the home, which leads to what? Criminal behavior by the time they're 14. This has been going on. It's a cycle. Keep voting Democrat with these black people. Keep voting for Democrats. They're keeping you in this cycle. Not that Republicans are any better. I'm just saying. Just try something else. The Eagle Scouts. Join the Girl Scouts. Anything. But that's why it's not isolated. Of course it's not isolated. But it's never going to go completely away. There's always going to be racists of all colors. Give me a break. And then they always have this black cop on. I've seen him on Fox a few times and on other stations. His last name is Clark. I think he's a Milwaukee sheriff, and he's great. And they're saying that, black people are pulled over a disproportionate amount by the cops. And he goes, no, we pull over people who are doing wrong. That's who we pull over. We don't know what their color is before we pull them over. And it just so happens that a lot of the times it's black people. And that's what the statistics prove out. That's coming from a black sheriff. Okay? That's the truth of it a lot of the times. You know what I mean? You can't... Those are the numbers. The numbers, What do you get? How does it benefit white cops to pull over and hassle black people? How does that benefit them? How does it make their life easier? Especially today, when everybody's watching, everybody's got a cell phone. I'm not having it. Especially after the whole Michael Brown thing. Total horseshit. And Eric Holder's report, that must really burn his ass. This last report said, yeah, Darren Wilson did not violate that guy's rights. But here's what we're going to do, because it didn't turn out the way we wanted it to. And I'm sure, look, of course, there's racist cops, and you're going to find them. You're going to find racists in all facets of life. It's the silliest notion that you're going to get rid of every single. But again, they never talk about black racism. And there was a poll, remember, about a year ago in the paper, even black people admitted they're more racist than white people. That was in a New York paper. I almost fainted when I read that. But let's just be adults about it. You can't just examine one part of the... I mean, Eric Holder, about a year ago, I had an article here. Remember, as far as black kids being punished in school? This is like a year ago. NBCnews.com. This is January of 2014. The Obama administration Wednesday issued new guidelines on classroom discipline, seeking to end the apparent disparities in how students of different races are punished for violating school rules. It wasn't just how they were punished, it was how many times they were being punished. And what the statistics showed were that black kids were being disciplined more. And that's where it would stop, though. Nobody asks them. Did I just say X? Holy Jesus. Did I just say X?
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all.
I was for about 10 seconds. They don't ask the next question. Well, are they misbehaving more than other students? And the answer would be yes. That's why they're being punished more. But nobody asks that question. Nobody asked that question. That's where the conversation stops. Holder looks at the numbers and goes, well, you're punishing black and brown students more. He doesn't ask the question, are they misbehaving more? And then he tries to get real nuanced in saying it's how you're punishing. So, some students of color being punished for laughing in class. Yeah. That was actually one of his things. And of course they're misbehaving more because they're more likely to come from a broken family. It all goes back to that. Sorry. So they want quotas for punishing now. We're going to punish white students differently than the students of color. These fucking people, they've lost their minds. These are the people who are they're always singing about a colorblind society, yet they're obsessed with it. It's the silliest thing I've ever heard. But of course there was racist cops in Ferguson. Dealing with that shit your whole life? Of course. And there's racist emails everywhere. Be a good segue into Hillary's email problems, huh? I'm just saying, I can't wait for Holder to go the hell away. God. Guy is as racist as anybody on the planet. Anybody. Obama's a little less, I think. But I'm sure when they get in a room, I'm sure they're not bad-mouthing Whitey together, huh? They can't stand what this country stands for, how it was founded. They live in the past. If this shit did get cured, they'd have nothing to do. They'd have no function in life. But it's always going to be there, okay? And it's. I just wish Obama and Holder and people like him would acknowledge the progress. But you always hear this, well, we got a long way to go. Well, okay, when are you going to be happy? When you white people are fucking picking cotton and you're whipping them? Will that do? I don't think that would do. At what point? There's a long way to go. Yeah, there is. The black community has to get their shit together, too. Deal? The cops will get their shit together if you get your shit together. And I know plenty of black people who would agree with me, so... I don't know him, but I heard him on TV. Anyways, enough of that. I'm tired of talking about that. But what are you going to do? Hillary. She can change the subject in her emails. How about this broad? She's not entitled, is she? She had her own servers using private email accounts instead of, when you work for the government, they issue an account so people can have access to it. Freedom of Information Act, and people can see what you're doing. And she had her own server at the house in Chappaqua. Okay? Can you imagine? Can you imagine the balls? And they're going, well, other people weren't Secretary of State. And when you do that, if you do have a private account, those emails on your private account have to be preserved within an email account through the government, so people can have access to it. That's how it's supposed to work. She didn't do that. She didn't do that. She's got like 5 different private accounts. Well, she's Secretary. You think that might have come in? You think that might have been handy for her when all this controversy about Benghazi was bubbling up? You don't think that had anything to do with it? Oh, my God. And there's people trying to defend her. That's why we're finished as a fucking nation. We're finished. People trying to defend this shit. And, I mean, even Lawrence O'Donnell, the biggest lefty, even he went after her. And the New York Times broke the story. And you know why that is? Everybody's giving the New York Times a high five because they went after one of their own. They really want Elizabeth Warren in there, in my opinion. They don't want Hillary in there. She's old. She's got too much baggage. I mean, not only is she doing that, right, which is, I think, breaking the law, having private accounts, but she was also, they weren't even secure. These servers aren't even secured, so who knows who has access to all her emails for the last few years. I mean, I'm sure China, Russia, Korea, North Korea, I mean, they have to. They have to know what the hell she was talking about. It wasn't even secured. It's like she's putting... That's so irresponsible. As Secretary of State. I don't even think she's... I'm going to be honest with you, and I think I said this last time. I don't think she's going to run. I think I said that a couple of weeks before this shit broke. Because her book tour was a disaster. Absolute disaster. She's finished. She's nothing special. She's a smart woman. She's nothing special. She married Bill Clinton. That's her biggest achievement. She sucked as Secretary of State. I'm hoping the fuck she runs. As a me being a Republican, a libertarian, whatever you want to call me. I'm hoping she, with all that bag, I mean, I think this is going to do it. This is going to put the kibosh on her. That Martin O'Malley, governor of Maryland, he makes Obama look conservative. So I think he's throwing his hat into the ring because I think he sees that she's wounded. But I'd welcome it. If I was a Republican, I'd be welcoming Hillary. She's got so much baggage. Foreign money going into the Clinton Foundation from foreign countries while she was Secretary of State. That's another thing you can't do. That's illegal. I mean, on top of all the other shit, when Bill was in they're gonna feast on her. She's like a sitting duck, and she's not that good on her feet anymore. She's not as sharp as she was. I mean, what has she done? Nice reset with Russia. That went well. She flew around the world for a couple of years, sitting on her ass. She'll probably be dead from sitting on her ass. You know, it is the new cancer. You know? But just the hubris, man. It's unbelievable. And let's be honest, I think if she was a guy, if she had a dick, she'd be done right now. They wouldn't even be considering her as a nominee, the Democrats. But this is once again our obsession with gender politics. We had the first black fella. Got to get a woman in there. It's her turn. It's her turn. That's why she's still alive politically, I swear to God. I mean, damn, I've been... Hold on. I've been playing these sound clips and not even checking the level.
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all.
People pointed out that was from Chris Rock's movie, CB4, which I totally forgot. I only worked for the guy for a couple of years. Shows you how in tune I am, so how hip I am. And that was a long time ago. But, yeah, so this is very interesting. And I'm just trying to figure out who the Dems have after Hillary. Who they got? Joe Biden? Yeah. Joe Biden. Huh? That would be good. Who do they got? They got a weak bench. Weak bench. So I predict that she says no mas. Don't you think so? Yeah. Right now, right after all this stuff about email broke, Bill probably was sitting at the kitchen table. Hillary came in from a long day, and Bill just looked at her.
And you blew it! You blew it!
I didn't, Bill. I didn't blow anything.
So, yeah. Martin O'Malley and Elizabeth Warren. You know, the half-Cherokee woman that went to Harvard. 1/8 Cherokee, whatever the fuck she lied about. The very anti-Wall Street. It's going to be interesting. Poor Jeb Bush thinks he's still got a chance. I just don't. It's hilarious. You see him on TV now. He moves just like George W. He keeps that right hand open when he talks. He has his 5 fingers just like George W. And you know that's the last thing he wants to remind people of. Oh, I just think he's delusional. I mean, I guess he's a good governor. He was a great governor of Florida, but he was. But he's not conservative enough, I don't think, for the base, as they call it. But I tell you, my money's on Rand Paul. He's sitting back in the weeds. He's more of a libertarian. Even the young kids like him, So remember not to sit on your ass this night when you watch TV, Put a pull-up bar in your dining room and hang upside down like Grandpa Munster while you're watching fucking American Idol. That's done. Yeah. I watched boxing came back last night on NBC for the first time in forever. Live boxing. Couple of matches. There were 2 matches, and I don't remember the first 2 guys. Broner, black guy named Adrian Broner. I forget who he was fighting, but he was giving him a whipping, but it was boring, and they were getting booed. It was a 12-round fight, and about 6 of the rounds they were getting roundly booed by the audience because they weren't doing anything, and the people at UFC must get a hard on when they see that. But then the second fight was a legitimate good fight. I think the guy's name was Keith Thurman. Last name is Thurman, and welterweight with dreadlocks. Tough dude. And fighting this Robert Guerrero, another tough and they were hammering each other. And, I mean, if you have more fights like that, it will get popular again. But I think I'm more of a UFC guy now. They won me over. There's just something about a roundhouse kick to somebody's head right in the middle of a fist fight that, or you can choke somebody out. It's kind of fun to watch. But Guerrero and, this guy Thurman was picking him apart. And they banged heads, and Thurman had an egg stick. It looked like a baby growing out of his head. It looked like another head growing out of his forehead. And then Guerrero's eyes were almost both closed. It was just, guys are animals, man. It was a great fight. But good luck, man, because UFC is really interesting and just as much fun. And I love boxing. So I don't know if you guys saw any of that last night. It was pretty damn interesting. Anyways, what do we got here? Oh, here's another headline I missed. The headline: 6 hip-hop fans stabbed. 6 men were stabbed and a woman was robbed during a hip-hop concert in Albany. You know, the birthplace of hip-hop, Latham. None of the injuries was considered. Wouldn't it be were considered? It says none of the injuries was considered life-threatening, and no arrests have been made in the attacks. Well, it says stabbed. What were they using, bobby pins? How can you get stabbed? And, I guess you must have stabbed them in the elbow and the feet. I don't know. Where is this place? Washington Avenue Armory. Wait a minute, I'm doing it. Oh, that's in Syracuse. I'm doing it Main Street Armory. No, in Rochester. What? Let me look at my book. Am I doing that? I know I'm doing an armory somewhere. Main Street Armory, Rochester. Okay. Oh, could happen there, too. A 19-year-old woman told police she was followed into the restroom at the armory by 6 people who assaulted and robbed her. Oh, for heaven's sakes.
And you blew it! You blew it.
Yeah, damn right. It's a heavy show today, huh? Well, you know what happens when the show gets too heavy. You know what we do. We haven't heard from this guy in a while.
When a man falls out of your boat and into the water, you should yell, "Man overboard." Now, what should you yell if a woman falls overboard?
Full speed ahead.
That's so funny coming out of a gay guy.
Excuse me. Dad, are you gonna...
Yeah. I'm not excited about Phoenix. I really am. I've had enough of this shit. Although I was just on vacation. Let's be honest. But I guess that's about it for now. I'll be doing the stand in the city a couple, 3, 4 times this week, working on stuff. That's the beauty of you do stuff here and there, and you. Oh, you know what I want to mention? I watched The Sopranos last night, and you ever watch? Well, either a movie or TV show, and there'll be a song like Scorsese and Goodfellas, Layla. Can you ever listen to that song again without thinking about Goodfellas and that dead couple in the pink Cadillac under the bridge when you hear Layla? I mean, it's all I can think about now. And it was weird because I was in my car yesterday, and I hear a song which I absolutely love, by the Shy Lights. And, well, here's the song. I can't hear this song without thinking of Tony Soprano. And I wanted to play the clip from the show, but I don't know, YouTube's on to me. Do you remember when Tony Soprano, for you fans, and again, there's no way I can have fans out there who aren't experts on The Sopranos. Maybe there's some youngsters. It's just the best thing that was ever on TV. Tony Soprano had a relationship with this guy, Zellman. He was like a city councilor, crooked guy. And they made backroom deals and shit. Anyway, Zellman ended up dating one of Tony's ex-Russian girlfriends, an old girlfriend of Tony's. But he was nice to tell Tony about it and explain, look, I'm seeing Irina, your old girlfriend, and just wanted to let you know. And Tony's like, hey, you're adults, do what you want, blah-blah, and, pretended like it didn't bother them. Then later on in the show, Tony has a few drinks, and this song comes on in the car, of course, the Shy Lights. But Gandolfini is so good. He's crying and he's wiping his eyes as he's driving, which I do all the time now. I don't know what that's about. I must have this. I know I have this low-grade clinical depression. Everybody has it, but it's weird as you get older. Anyways, so he's wiping his eyes, and then he just does this kind of this like evil laugh, and he heads for her house, Zellman's house, the councilman, because he knows that they're living together. And he bangs on the door. She answers it, and he goes, "You got a drink for me, honey?" His old girlfriend. And he just, rushes past her and heads for the bedroom. Sees her shoes. Heads for the bedroom And there's Zellman, the city councilman, like he's in his underwear or like gym shorts or whatever, boxers. And and Tony comes into his bedroom, and Tony's got his leather jacket on, and Zellman's like, "Hey Tony, how you doing?" And fucking Gandolfini is the scariest. He's got the best presence ever of just a frightening guy, just staring at the guy. Yeah, do you want to? Zellman's like, you want to talk about it? I mean, he's. Just want to calm down and talk about it. And Tony's surprised, like, I'm calm, as he's taking off his belt, like my father used to when I was in a bit of trouble. He's taking off his belt. He goes, I'm calm, and he just starts whipping the piss out of this poor bastard. Oh, whipping this guy in front of his girlfriend. This hot Russian broad. He's laying on the floor, like in the closet, and Tony is just smacking him. I don't know how they made this look so real. You can see these red welts coming off, the red marks on his back. But, God, I wanted to play the clip. The guy's like, Tony, no! And he's just smacking him on the back of the legs and the ass, and the girlfriend's, the old girlfriend's just sitting there with her hands over her mouth. And then Tony looks at him. The guy's on the ground, and he goes, "Go ahead." Tony goes, "Go ahead, cry like a bitch." Oh my God, he was the best good guy, bad guy, scary dark side. And then he walks by his girlfriend who's sitting there, and there's a tear. Just her eyes are filled with tear, and he just taps her on the cheek and leaves. Oh my God, I don't know why I love that so much. Oh, I forgot the best line. He goes, "Out of all the girls in Jersey, you had to fuck this one." Go ahead, cry like a bitch. Oh, I wanted to play that clip, but it wouldn't let me. It wouldn't let me. I know it would have been much better. Anyways, so every time I hear this song... Oh, for the love of Pete. Anyways, kids, good to be back with you. And come see me, I don't know if you're in the city, at the Stand or wherever. Not really, though, because you can watch me bomb as I work on new stuff. That's what I'm... Like, I have nothing. I have no auditions. I have nothing else. No other business to take care of. I can focus. I can't compartmentalize. Like my buddy Colin Quinn, who can be working on a one-man... He can be writing a play, writing a book, and writing stand-up. And, I don't know. I can't do that. I have to fucking... I can't walk and chew gum, man. I love when I see a hole in my schedule where I'm like in the city for the next 10 days and I can, focus and work on stuff. I'd say I'm more than halfway to a new hour, though. About half. Yeah, definitely more than halfway. But it's fun. It's a fun process, man. It's fun. As you get older, it's actually... You become more efficient. You throw away the old stuff quicker because, like I said, I can't remember it. I can't dip into stuff from my last album because I can't remember it. So, it's onward and upward, or upward and onward to the next one. But thank you for you guys out there. Like I said, the album's doing well on iTunes. It's always in the top of the charts there somewhere, and it's nice. And hopefully, I guess Raw Dog, they're revamping the channel or something. But they're supposed to start playing it this week. I got that from my buddy Lou over at Sirius Radio, because it's not in the rotation yet. But he said it's because they're revamping the station. And I will monitor that closely. You know how I am. But you guys, thanks for the support on that. It's going pretty damn good. That's about it. Like I said, for you in the D.C. area, come see me 20 and 21st. The Arlington Draft House in Alexandria. And 26, 27, 28, the House of Comedy in Phoenix. I guess I've covered it all. All right. Yeah, that's it. And you know how I feel about you. If you don't, this guy will tell you.
I love you for helping me to construct of my life, not a tavern, but a temple. I love you because you have done so much to make me happy. You have done it without a word, without a touch, without a sign. You have done it by
Fucking smash his fucking face in.
being yourself. Perhaps, after all, that is what love means. And that is why I love you.
Good day, everybody.